logarithm questions as they appear on Smarty Prep. First, it's important to just recognize the basic functionality of logs. They're the inverse function of an exponential function, and in that sense, they are basically what peels back the layers of having an exponent with a variable in it. So in other words, logarithms are how we isolate variables that are originally in exponents. So that's why they function. So here's the basic idea. As we can see from up here, log base b of a equals c. That's the same thing as saying b to the exponent c equals a. So the reason is the log is basically asking this very simple question, which is, what exponent do I take b to get to a? And then the answer to that is c in this case. So that's why we can rewrite that as b to the c equals a. So let's kind of go through these examples to kind of talk through what they mean. So this is again saying, what exponent do I take 2 to get to x? And then they say the answer to that question is 5, so we can rewrite that as 2 to the 5 equals x. For the second one, it's x to what exponent equals 64? The answer is 2, so we can say x to the 2, or x squared, equals 64. And the last one, log base 3 of 27 equals x. So what exponent do we take 3 to get to 27? So what exponent do we take 3 to the x equals 27? Okay, so that's how you have to interpret them, and that's how you can rewrite them to solve if that makes the most sense in the situation. The other important properties, and really this is it as far as what you'll see on Smarty Prep, is the product rule, the quotient rule, and the power rule. The product rule states that if you add logs of the same base together, that's the same thing as multiplying the insides, basically. And by the same token for the quotient rule, if you subtract logs of the same base, then that can be simplified by dividing the insides of the logs. Lastly, the power rule is that if we take not the whole log to p, but just, the number inside, x to the p, that's the same as multiplying the entire equation by p. So those are the specific rules that you'll need to know to attack any question on Smarty Prep that has to do with logs. Let's take a look at this one. It says if log base 4 of 64 equals 3m minus 6, what's the value of m? So over here, we know what this is supposed to mean. It's supposed to mean, what exponent do we take 4 to get to 64? Well, 4 squared is 16, so that's 2, so that's not it. 4 cubed, well, what's that? 16 times 4, oh, that indeed is 64. So, for that reason, we know that this is just simplified to 3 on this side. So we have 3 is equal to 3m minus 6. From there, we just solve normally, add 6 to both sides, so we have 9 is equal to 3m. And the last step is just solving for m. 3 is equal to m. So A is our answer. So that's just one example of the type of question you'll see that involves logarithms on Smarty Prep. So keep this information in mind while working on Smarty Prep, and happy skill building.